All right, so if we're talking about the Forex, I do have to cover a couple of housekeeping things very quickly. All right, you need to be aware. If you're going to trade this market, it offers a great opportunity. All right, but you also have to know, you got to know what you're doing, or you can lose your money. And that's really what this says on the screen. And I start with that so that you and I are both singing off the same sheet of music. We're talking about serious business. All right, today, you should never trade with money that you can't afford to lose. And you always remember to keep your equity management in mind. All right, you got to know right up front that I'm not a CTA, which stands for Commodities Trading Advisor. What that means to you is, no matter how great what I'm going to show you is, and it's phenomenal, all right, but you got to be aware that I can't trade your account for you. Okay, that's where you're going to come in. You're always going to be in control of this exercise. You're the one that's going to be looking to trade for profit, protect your downside, get those good entries and exits. All right, but I want to put this together for you. All right, so you can do this and end up in a nice profitable position. All right, so everybody can hear the sound of my voice. Well, I'm not sure that that's even true. Okay, I've had a couple of people type in that they can hear me, but I got 186 of you here, and we just dealt with 10 minutes of a sound issue. So I'm not going to even take a step forward unless I know you can hear me, because I'm not going to waste my time or yours. So do me a favor, okay? If you can hear the sound of my voice, find that chat box and let me know. Okay, type just something friendly in there. Joe, I can hear you. Joe, I'm listening from San Antonio, Texas. All right, find that and let me know that we're connected, because look, if this is going to be valuable to both of us, we got to talk to each other a little. I want this to be different than the average webinar. All right, I'm going to be looking for some feedback throughout this, because I want to make sure you're getting something out of it. Okay, I'll be asking, you're gonna ask me questions. All right, I want this to be a nice robust discussion instead of, you know, just it being delivery of information with you taking down a few notes. Okay, so if you can hear me, go ahead, type the name of the city that you're listening from in that chat box, and we will get this ball rolling. And at this point, Renee, I do not see even one response, so I guess we better check the sound. Okay, I guess we better check the sound. If you can hear me, that's great. All right, but at this moment, I'm not, oh, here we go. Now we're cooking with oil. All right, hold on a minute. Now we're talking. We sound good. Thank you. Look at this. And you know what? We're not going to let the gremlins get us down. Now we've got some water going through the pipe. Vivian's here. Sharma's here. Mark, Glenn, Fred, Joaquim, Pac-Man, good to see you. Sasha, Marysville, Michigan. You can hear me, Joy. Thank you. Right? Augusta, Georgia. Jeff can hear me also. You're good in the UK. Thank you. Mary McAfee, appreciate it. Austria is here as well. All right, now I know we're started. Okay, so let's go, because we got a little catch-up ball to do, but I'm going to show you this system. All right, I'm going to show you this system called the target trading system, because this is a tool, gang, that is helping our students. All right, people that work with us, we call them students. Really, they're traders. All right, they're people like you that are trading from home. Okay, but this system is helping the people that work with us get consistent wins in the Forex market, and that's really a key word. Okay, when it comes to being a trader, you've got to find something that is consistent, because anybody can have a program that works for a little while. Anybody can have a program that works once in a while. All right, or they can show you a program that works in one kind of market. Well, markets are always changing. All right, so you've got to find the tool that allows you to be consistent regardless of market. And what I'm going to tell you is this tool that I'm going to show you, target trading, is going to get you, even if you're brand new, to that consistency very, very quickly. Now, that's a bold statement, all right, but I've got to live up to that. And I always believe, all right, if you're going to have an audience of people, especially traders, all right, and you're going to make statements in the market, you better be able to back them up. All right, well, I'm going to back up any statement that I make the right way. I'm going to back it up with an account statement. All right, anybody can say things to you on a webinar, but showing you things that work is really going to be the key. So I want to show you this account right here. Just very quickly, this is an account, all right, that I opened up with my last group of new Forex traders. All right, I opened this account with them. I was working with them. I said, look, you're brand new. Let's all open an account with a small amount of money. All right, let's have sort of a proving ground kind of account. All right, and then what we did was we ended up trading this thing together. Now, I opened this account, all right, back on April the 16th with a little less than $2 grand. All right, like I said, we said, let's all have, you know, just kind of a proving ground. This was all novice people, okay? But what I want you to know is this. What happened in this account was the goal was to show my new people that not only can you start with a small amount of money and make yourself a nice chunk, but that in a patterned and consistent way. All right, regardless of what currency you're trading with, regardless of what's going on in the world with this economic announcement or that presidential election or whatever it was, all right, that you could consistently add wins to the account. Okay, now I'm not going to say that this was some kind of a perfect system, and I think you can see that right here. All right, when you're trading, you're going to put in some gains, you're going to put in some losses. All right, that's just what trading is all about. But at the end of the day, when you add this up, look at where this account stood after 2 weeks. All right, you start with $2,000, and 2 weeks later, the account doubled in size without taking a whole lot of risk. All right, and using the system that I'm going to show you today. And most of the time, right, if I show people an account that doubled in a couple of weeks, they're at least interested in that, to the point where they say, well, show it to me. All right, and I'm gonna. But before I do, all right, I want to show you where that account stood after 90 days. Okay, I want to show you that this wasn't just kind of a one-hit situation. I want to show you that after 90 days, just maintaining that consistency, all right, that patterned set of wins, all right, not hitting home runs every time. And look, we couldn't hit home runs. Why? Because we weren't working with a whole lot of capital, all right, but take a look at the result. All right, and if, you know, when you get down to it, I think I'm going to call that a home run anyway. All right, because if you start something with $2,000, all right, and then 90 days later you got 10 grand profit, okay, 90 days later you made 500%, that's at least got to be something that's worth looking into. And I'm showing you this because this is an example of something that happens with our group all the time. All right, and I know this, anytime I can build an account from 2 to 10 grand, people are usually, right, pretty happy with that. All right, it's a little money they can spend, or now they've got an account, gang, that they can start leveraging, all right, and really start to get somewhere. So I think if this is kind of what you came to see and you want me to make sense out of it, that's exactly what I'm going to do for you. All right, and we've been doing this here a long time. I mean, this is what we do at Market Traders Institute. Some of you know us already, all right, but for the rest of you, you Google me after we're done, you're going to see that we've been doing this for 23 years. All right, matter of fact, the formula that we teach, excuse me, it works. Okay, and this program, target trading, it's really taken things to the next level. All right, because no matter what markets are doing, up, down, we've seen it. All right, and the method that we teach has such a rock solid foundation that our students, and at this point there's more than 32,000 of them, all right, people like you around the world that we work with on a daily basis, they have learned a skill, all right, and a method that no matter what happens in their life, okay, they can always look to this market, this Forex market, to generate at least a secondary income for themselves, all right, if not a primary income. So I guess if you came here to do that, you came to Investor Inspiration and you said, I want to learn a market where I can at least make a secondary income for myself every month, maybe make $3,000, $4,000. Well, I'm going to tell you what, you came to the right place. All right, Forex is going to give you that opportunity. You're going to see and hear exactly, all right, how we teach and translate this into actual results. Okay, and the results, look, when you start to see results, you're probably going to end up being like the people that already work with us. They chronicle the results on Facebook in real time. All right, this is one of the things that we do with our group. We want to see their results. And when you start to see 1,600 pips or 2,600 pips, right, or 500 pips, those are always fun to see results, right? And it's fine. But usually, all right, results come from adding. Now listen, all right, they come from adding a couple of other layers to your trading endeavor. Results don't just come by magic, okay? They come with what? They come with analysis, and they come with some guidance, and they come with some mentorship, all right? And that's really an important point that I want to make to you. I couldn't have come close to my success when it came to trading, all right? I probably couldn't have gotten anywhere without my mentors, all right? The people that taught me how to trade. I didn't just magically walk into a market and know what was going on, right? Laura Peterson, when I got to the Amex, she showed me how to trade stocks. That's how I learned, right? She was one of the best. She took me under her wing. And mentors are going to be important to you. When I was trading commodities, I was trading lumber and sugar, right? Mike Ryan, right, from Bank of Ireland, he taught me how to trade those markets. And I'll tell you what, when you got good mentors, that shortens up the learning time. Okay, rather than you having to have your nose in a book trying to decipher everything, how about finding yourself somebody that knows what they're doing, right, and kind of copying what they do, right? If they're making money and you have a chance to sort of mirror and match what they do, that's really what everybody's looking for. Well, I found that same thing here, right, when it came to trading the Forex market. I learned from the chief, who's our founder. I learned from Josh Martinez. I'll introduce him in a second. All right, that's how results come. They don't come by magic. You got to put all these little pieces together. All right, and that's what I think a lot of you here are here to do. All right, you don't want to be out there trading alone, struggling. You've done that long enough. All right, your team, your mentors, right, the people that you engage, all right, the energy, that's how you start to put all of this together. Okay, then you add a piece of software that gives you some clarity on it, and that's where the rubber meets the road. All right, and I'll tell you what, all right, we can do this for you, and we can get you started quickly. And there's an event that I want to make you aware of before we even go one more step further, because it's happening tonight. Okay, it's happening tonight at 7 o'clock, and your timing on this, look, probably couldn't be any better. Even if you've been putting off looking into the Forex market until right now, okay, I'm going to tell you, your timing is real good, because this market is offering probably the best trading environment, right, than it has in the past 8 years. And what's going to happen tonight is our lead analyst, this is Josh Martinez. All right, let me just do a quick introduction, because he's hosting a worldwide live session tonight at 7 o'clock. All right, a lot of you might already know who he is. A lot of you might be attached to him already on Facebook. Look, if you're not, do yourself a favor. You see this right here? Do yourself a favor and write this down. You see this right over here in the bottom right corner? All right, that's Josh's Facebook handle. That is a good asset, because look, the more people that you have as a trader, the more people that you have in your stable, okay, that know what they're doing, that can generate results, and they can do it in a patterned way, right? That's going to help you, okay? The more you build out your network of traders, all right, of people that you trust in terms of results, all right, that's going to help you. So if you linked up today, all right, if the only thing you do based on our time together here at Investor Inspiration is get yourself linked up to Josh Martinez, I'm telling you right now, that's going to be a good asset for you. And the fact of the matter is, all right, he is getting on a session tonight with all of our worldwide students. All right, more than 30,000 people worldwide are going to log into a session with him tonight, and he's going to mentor them. All right, this is something you can be a part of also, because with all that's going on in the world right now, with the pound, all right, with the euro, and especially with the US dollar, all right, he's literally going to get on that webinar, and he's going to hand everybody his analysis, so that instead of just watching things kind of go by like most people are going to do, all right, all the people that log into that webinar are going to be in a position to make some money with it. All right. How much? Well, between 7,000 and 13,000 pips. It says that right here. Now, what does that mean? All right, look, let's get right into it. All right, now that we're all here, let's get right into it. For the new people, what does that mean? Well, that means if you are a trader and you are trading Josh's recommendations, all right, and you're trading for just $1 a pip, that means with what he's going to hand you tonight, all right, that's going to put you in a position to make between $7,000 and $13,000. That is how we support our students here. All right, we quantify it, then we deliver it, then we go out and do it. All right, and the ones that know Josh already, they're going to make sure that they're going to be in that session. And anybody, all right, that's here that wants to be in that session or reserve a seat in that session, I'm going to give all of you an opportunity to do that today. In fact, if you want to reserve a spot, all right, and get a sample of what it's like to be a trader with our group tonight. And a lot of people want that. They say, yeah, if you guys are so good, well, let me come trade with you. All right. If that's something you want to do, I'm going to give you an opportunity to come and do that tonight. And if you're interested in doing that, listen, here's what you can do. All right. Use that same chat box. And if you want, type a good number for us to reach you in that chat box, right? You've been typing stuff in there already. All right, and you don't have to do this right now, but if that's something that interests you and you can spare 45 minutes tonight to get a sample of what it's like to be a trader with our group, that is a neat opportunity. All right, come on in and we will trade this with you live. All right, now most of you, I'm not sure what your level of experience is with this. All right, most of you, I'm not sure you're prepared yet, all right, to be in that room, right? But if you give me, how about you give me an hour? All right. If you give me an hour right now, I'm going to prepare you to be in that room. All right. The way I like to say it is, I'll turn you into a Forex trader if you give me an hour of your time. All right, because the fact is, I want to prepare you to be in that room, to be more than just an observer, right? You've gone to enough webinars, right? I don't want you to be a fly on the wall, you know, just sort of checking things out and making it a passive exercise. No, let's get you ready. All right, let's get you ready to go and make some money with this, because with what's about to happen in the US dollar, right, instead of saying, oh, wow, I could have done something, all right, I'd like to see you do a little something with it. I'm Joe Cavallaro, and I'm going to get you there. All right, let's get down to business. I'm going to be your host, all right, and I want you to know I'm going to take you through this. And I've been trading markets, gang, since I graduated from college, all right, back in 1994. Says it on the screen. I have traded all the markets. I've been licensed in all of them. All right, stock, options, commodities, futures, and Forex. I've been a principal at a couple of firms. I've got my ID card from when I used to trade at World Trade Center. All right, I've traded the big accounts. And the only reason I tell you that, all right, I'm not trying to brag, but I want you to know ahead of time, okay, that by hanging out with me today, all right, your time's valuable. Well, I want you to know that you're listening to a qualified person, all right, when it comes to this. I've managed trading desks, all right, of 15, 25 traders at a time. Okay, and my job has always been real simple. It's to make sure that every trader on the desk, right, has the tools and strategies they need so that when their P&L statement comes out, it's got some green on it. All right, I hope you don't mind that I'm talking like this, because at the end of the day, we can all do bells and whistles. I want to get down to helping you make some money. All right, so what I'm going to imagine is this. By you logging into this webinar right now, I'm going to imagine that you just grabbed the seat on my trading desk. All right, now you're looking at me saying, what? Show me how to do this, right? Well, that's what I'm going to do. Give me an hour, and I'm going to make sure you got the tools. I'm going to make sure you got the strategies. All right, I'm going to make sure that this makes sense to you, so that you can see what the opportunity is, and then you know what you're going to do. If it makes sense, you're going to give yourself a shot at it. And I'm not going to just give you general stuff. All right, by the time we're done, you're going to have this. You're going to know more about making money in this market than 99% of the people on this planet. And I'm going to show you a formula. All right, so you can have it to go and trade with. And I want you to write down that word, all right, because that's going to be kind of the key to our whole visit today. All right, trading's not a secret, right? Making money's not a fantasy. It's all about a formula. It's repeatable steps, and I'm going to show you those steps today. And we're going to go live, all right, so you can see it happening in real time. That's the best way to do anything. All right, rather than giving you some theory, all right, I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to be doing, so that you can see it in real time, how to get into a trade, how to exit a trade. Then I'm going to show you target trading, all right? And that's going to take all the guesswork out of this for you. It is a really neat tool, all right? And I'll show you, right, that even if you're new, you can get out there and use this today. And if that's something that you're geared to do, right, I mean, if something works, let's get out there and do it. Okay, and as we go through this, if you say to yourself, well, you know what, I think I want to give that a shot. I want to get that on my desk today. Well, at the end, I'm going to give you an opportunity to not just get it, but to try it for 60 days so you can see that it works, all right, before you have to make any kind of a final decision on it. So what do we got here? I've got 186 people here. Can you do me a favor? All right, now that you found the chat box, we're talking a little bit. Let's start the conversation, and I need to know where you stand with this. All right, can you go to the chat box and just let me know very quickly what kind of experience you have in the market? If you got one of those retail trading accounts, right, you got a stock account, you got an options account, you got a futures account, right? Some of you, I'm sure, have a Forex account. Let me just know what your level of experience is, because I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence here and just talk about the basics. All right, if you've got a little experience, let's talk to that experience, because that experience is going to be to your benefit here. If you've traded before, okay, that's going to work to your advantage. All we're probably going to have to do is maybe understand a couple of nuances so that you understand why you're going to add the Forex to your trading arsenal. All right, so let me know what your level of experience is, and if you're brand new, let me know that too. All right, just type brand new in the chat box, and I'll cover a little extra ground for you so you can get caught up on this and get right up to speed. All right, so what do we got here? Solomon's been trading stocks, right? Good. That's what I was hoping there. There's a couple more of you. Diane's a futures trader. A little bit of S&Ps. 2150 doesn't hurt your feelings, does it, Diane? Right? That's a hell of a number, but where do we go from here? Right? If you want to make 10% on the long side on your S&Ps, now we're talking about what? You got to go to 2,400. That's some rare air. We got to go find where the returns are going to come from. Okay, we've gotten them already in stocks. We've gotten them in our futures accounts. Now we got to find them somewhere else. Wait till you see what you can do in the Forex. So who else has been trading? Good. Thank you. I got more. Look at all my traders. Wow. All right. This is a group of pretty experienced traders, and a lot of you are trading stocks, right? Some of you've got your demo accounts, which is good. All right. But I got to let you know something. If you're going to trade, all right, I'm excited for you. Number one, if you're making money at it, good. If you're here because you're struggling, but you're trying to find a path, I can help you. All right. But what you're doing is a pretty damn courageous endeavor. Trading the markets at all, gang. Number one, we know it's exciting. But number two, we understand it's risk and reward. Okay. And this is the deep end of the pool. Okay. What you got to understand is this. You've got to pick the market that gives you the best shot. You have to choose the market where you have the best chance to make the money. You can make money in all the markets, but you got to realize that there's advantages out there when it comes to certain markets that you've got to be able to harness and take advantage of. We got to get the shortest distance from effort to profit. Okay, a lot of you are out there doing what? Trading stocks. Well, let me show you the difference between stocks and the Forex market. Just a couple of them real quickly, but this is going to highlight what I'm talking about. Okay, when you trade stocks, all right, execution is always important. All right, why? Because whenever you buy or sell something, right, you want to make sure you're getting the best price. Well, in the stock market, whether you know it or not, okay, when you send your market order or when your limit order becomes a market order, do you realize that that order gets routed to a broker, and that broker that you work with can actually hold your order for up to 17 seconds before they execute it? And the whole time they're holding your order, you know what they're doing? They're trading against you. All right, and that's going to cost you money every time on both sides of your trade. But in the Forex, you've got to understand, we don't deal with delays in execution because this is a purely liquid market. Okay, it's a liquid market. There's always a buyer, there's always a seller, and the price you see on the screen when you click your mouse is the price that you get. Okay, not only does that lower your risk, all right, but it also lowers your cost. And instead of money in your broker's pocket, well, now we're going to put some extra money in your pocket. And just by understanding that advantage, you're going to understand that your precious capital, all right, being preserved is going to be a major advantage of working in the Forex. Now, let's talk about your capital for a second. I got to talk about leverage because this is where, all right, your capital comes in. Now, when you're trading stocks, what do we know? All right, the driver to profits is always how big you can trade, the size of your position. Well, you want to take a position in Apple, right? You got $150 a share stock, right? To get any kind of a meaningful position, you at least got to get 200 shares. Well, that's going to be a cash outlay for you of $30,000. Why? Because there's no leverage in the stock market. Well, I got a margin account. Okay, at the most you can get 2-to-1 leverage, which means to get those 200 shares of Apple, you got to lay out a minimum of $15,000. Okay, for some of you, I know you can do it, that's fine. But for a lot of people, that's not a number, right, that's conducive to being able to trade a lot of positions. For some of you, that's all your capital. Okay, the fact of the matter is stocks are capital intensive as a market, okay, and you don't get a lot of bang for your buck. But in the Forex market, you get a whole lot of bang for your buck. In this market, you got to write this down. You get 50-to-1 leverage. Okay, instead of buying positions, all right, you're going to use a small amount of capital and control positions. Now, a lot of people say, well, leverage works both ways. You're darn right it does. All right, but the way that it works to your advantage is on the upside. All right, I'll teach you how to protect your downside so it's not a two-edged sword. Okay, but you've got to understand that your best investments ever have always been leveraged investments. It's always been about control. How did you buy your house? Did you write a check for your house for $200,000 when the realtor told you that's how much it cost? No. You put down 5%. You controlled the asset. They even gave you the keys, right? You put down 5%. They gave you the keys. They called you a home owner. Really what you are is a home asset controller. But when that house goes from 200,000 up to 300,000, you get to keep all the money. That's the key to leverage. You got to get control of the assets, okay? As opposed to big cash outlays, let's control big positions. I'll show you how to do this with very little capital. So that's working, okay? Why do we want to talk about the Forex in terms of flexibility? Write this down. This is the most flexible market there is, gang, because it's open 24 hours. If you want to trade it anytime you go to trade the Forex market, I don't care if it's day, afternoon, evening, all right? When you crack open your laptop, this market's open, it's fluid, right? Trades are going through, you're ready to go, all right? In the stock market, if you want to trade it, you better be available from 9:30 to 4, because if you're not, it's going to be tough. All right. If you got a full-time job, what are you going to have one eye on your computer because you're trading some Disney, right? Now you're trading lousy and your job is lousy, right? You can't be doing two things at once. Trading stocks, for those of you that can't be full-time traders, a lot of time is difficult. But you want to know what else you got to understand, gang? It's risky. If you're trading a market that opens and closes, right, and stuff happens outside of trading hours, you end up stuck. Think about Amazon. All right, Amazon reported their earnings, their last earnings report. What was it, 24th of July, right? They reported their earnings. What happened? Well, first of all, they reported after the bell. Okay, you're holding some Amazon. You got an option, right? You got some straight up stock, right? They say on CNBC, Amazon will announce earnings today. When? After the bell. They announced their earnings, right? Great revenue number, but they missed, right, the growth number. What happened to the stock? In a matter of about 5 minutes, boom, the stock dropped $40 a share. You can look it up. Now, if you happen to hold that stock, what can you do? Nothing. The market's closed. You can't do anything until the following morning, and by then, gang, it's too late. Do you understand the risk of trading markets that open and close when things like that, major things happen, right? When the market's closing, you can't do anything about it. If you had a call contract, you're stuck. You're hating it, right? By the time you can do anything, it's over, okay? That's high risk. That's a high wire act. Why would you do that to yourself? How about you trade a market that's open 24 hours? How about you trade a market that's inexpensive? How about you trade a market that's growing? Right? The reason people are flocking to this market is because the best way to say it is this is the market that gives them the best chance to make the money. You know, I'm excited about it because most of you don't have, right, access to this market yet. You haven't added it to your trading arsenal. I'm not telling you, if you're doing all right trading stock and options, do it. Keep doing it. You'd be a fool not to if you're making money at it. Okay, but you also got to have another place that you can add to your arsenal. And I'm going to show you that this is something you can do. There's a lot of reasons it's a growing market. There's a lot of reasons it's a lower cost market. But one of the main reasons it's going to be fun for me to show this to you is because it's easy. All right. I don't have to teach you how to be an economist. I don't have to teach you how to balance different market sectors and learn 2,000 stocks and companies and follow them. All right. The only thing I really have to show you is what currencies you're going to trade and how you're going to trade them. And I think this is going to be easy for you. All right. Because you're going to trade the currencies you've already heard of. Okay. If you know them by heart, great. If you don't, go ahead. I'll give you a second to jot them down, because when you trade currencies, all we're doing is trading the majors. Okay. We don't have to get too fancy to make serious money here. All right, you want to trade the US dollar? Let's do it. The Canadian, the euro, the pound, the yen, the franc, the Aussie, the Kiwi, that is what we're going to trade. Now, let me show you how easy it is. All right, because most of you have a little bit of exposure to the Forex already. All right, if you've ever been traveling, you've seen this. If you've ever been to one of those currency exchanges, you've seen this. You've seen an exchange rate before. Okay, yeah, Joe, I know what that is, right? As soon as I see an exchange rate, I know that I can trade one currency for the other. Right, at the going rate. So if you saw this, if you walked into the bank and you saw this exchange rate or the hotel or whatever, you would know immediately what it meant. You can hand over a euro, right? They're going to exchange it for about $1.16 US. Now, if you know that, all right, you are cooking. You're very close. All I've got to do is add a little bit of information here to turn you into a Forex trader. Now, watch how it's going to work. All right. Most people, right, they understand that currency rates move up and down. Okay. But currency rates don't move up and down dollars or cents at a time. They move up and down way over here at the third and the fourth decimal place. All right. Those are called pips. All right. currencies move up and down pips at a time. Now, if you're going to be a currency trader, what you've got to know is that's the movement you want to capture. You don't need to capture dollars. You don't need to capture cents. In this market, you're going to look to the third and fourth decimal place, and you're going to look to capture pips, okay? As many of them as possible. Now, how does it all work? Well, let's do a dry run, and I bet this makes sense to you. Most of you have been trading before. Watch how this works. Let's just take a currency and do an example. All right, if I've got the euro and the US dollar, and it's trading at 116.05, okay? During the day, I might have a strong euro, or I might have a weak dollar. In either case, what's that going to do? That's going to move my little seesaw here. All right, that will move my exchange rate. In this case, it'll move it higher. Now, if it should go from 116.05 up to 116.95, that is a difference of 90 pips. You see them? There they are at the third and the fourth decimal place. All right, that's where the pips are, and now you know where to find them. Okay, the pips are going to be the key to profits. All right, so we got to capture those pips. We got to capture as many of them as we can. This is going to be a repeatable exercise. All right, and all you're going to do to capture those pips is very simple. It's the same thing you already know how to do. You're going to have yourself a Forex trading account. You're going to buy low and sell high. All right, make sure that we're not overcomplicating the issue. All right, and I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. All right, you're going to have a Forex trading account if you're going to trade Forex, and you're going to buy low, sell high, follow the formula that I'm going to show you. All right, and you're going to capture as many of those pips as you can. Now, somebody just asked me, where do I get a Forex trading account? Well, look, if you've already got an account to trade stocks or to trade futures, right? You maybe have it with Ameritrade, or you got it with E-Trade or one of these. Some of them already have Forex trading platforms. All you got to do is get a permission. Right? You get a permission from them to trade Forex, they'll send you the Forex platform, right? It's got the buy button and the sell button, okay? For those of you, though, that don't have one of those brokers, but you want to trade Forex, here's what you're going to do, all right? You're going to go to a website. Watch this, all right? Because we're not a broker, so you're not going to have an account with us. We're going to be the people that trade with you, all right? We're not going to hold any of your money, though. You've got to go get an account. And to show you how easy it is, this is what I want everybody here to do today. All right, as a bare minimum, I want you to do this. I want you to go to a website and open yourself a trading account, okay? Now, how do you do it? Watch how simple this is. There's no excuse not to do this, okay? Now, who do I trade with? I showed you my account earlier. I trade with a group out of Canada called Oanda. So let me go ahead and go to their website. All right, watch how easy it is to open an account. You go to their website, right? You click on open an account. It's up here. Now watch. Okay, you got a couple of choices. You want to open up a live account and trade some real money today? You can do it, right? They'll take your deposit with a debit card. You can literally be trading this market in 15 minutes. All right, some of you are like, well, let me get started with that. How much do I need? Well, wait a minute. All right, I'm going to show you that, but I want you to be aware you don't really need any money in order to do this. All right, if you're saying, I'm not going to go opening an account, I don't even know what I'm doing here yet. Well, yes, you are. But what you're going to do is open a demo trading account so you can learn what to do. All right, demo trading, you don't even need your own money. They'll give you money. Okay, they'll give you $50,000 to play with. It's not real money. You knew that. Okay, but it is what? And it's a real-time exercise. All right, all the prices you see will be real-time. All right, it'll keep score for you in real time. The graphs, the charts, everything will be a real-time exercise, so you can get comfortable and get a feel for how the market works before you go risking any of your money. All right, so at the very least, you're going to do one of these two things, but watch how easy it is. You click on live trading account, for example. It says sign up in minutes. That's all it's going to take. You're going to go ahead and give them your name. You're going to give them an email address. You're going to pick a username and password, and then you're going to click send. All right, then in about 2 minutes, you're going to check your email. What's going to be in there is a link. Okay, a download link so that you can do what? Download the trading platform, and now you've got a place that you can buy or sell. Okay, doesn't cost you anything to do it, takes you 2 minutes to do it. A lot of you aren't going to do this. That's okay, all right? A lot of you are, and those are the people that I want to talk to today. I want to talk to the people that are serious about doing this because I'm going to create a path for you. And I'm not doing the basics to insult your intelligence. I'm doing this so that you can be comfortable with this before you go risking any of your money. Because when it comes down to it, I mean, your level of confidence is going to be the driving factor in how much money you make. All right, so let's talk about this. How much money do you need? Well, it's going to be based on how confident you are. All right, how confident you are always determines how much money you put into anything, but also how much money you take out of it. Okay, and in the Forex market, listen, all right, you've got a couple of different choices so that you can sort of graduate to different levels of confidence. As you see your stuff working, you'll be able to trade in bigger size. Now, here's your choices. All right, if you're going to trade the Forex market, you can trade in what's called a micro lot, a mini lot, or a standard lot of currency. I want you to write those down. All right, micro, mini, and standard. Now, how much money do you need for this? Well, listen, let's just start at the beginning, right? If you're going to trade micro lots in the currency market, you know what you need? You need $20, okay? A micro lot trade is a $20 trade, $20 investment. Now, first thing everybody says to me is what? Well, how much can I really do with $20? Well, in any other market, you can't do anything with $20, right? If you got $20 in the stock market, what do? You buy one share of something, right? And then hope for the best. That's a waste of time, okay? In the options market, they won't even let you start with $20, okay? And with the spreads and the cost and the time erosion, it'll just disappear anyway. You might as well just set it on fire, okay? But in the currency market, listen, it allows you to get your foot in the door. You trade some micro lots of currency, okay? And the fact of the matter is that's probably the smart thing for everybody to do anyway. You start small, right? Proving ground. You make sure that you know what you're doing, that your formula works, that your technique is good. And then what do? Well, once you see your formula works, then you can step it out a little bit, at which point you're going to trade mini lots. And I want you to write that one down, all right? Because this is where things will start to get a little more interesting. When you're trading mini lots, okay, that requires a $200 investment. Still not a lot of money. Okay, but the fact of the matter is when you're trading those, you're going to see that that'll get you somewhere. But the one I really want you to circle on your paper is this one here at the bottom, all right, that says standard lots of currency. All right, because that's got to be your goal. Circle that one. Your goal, and you want to write this down, is to get to the point where you personally are trading, right, as confidently and quickly as possible standard lots, because that's when this exercise is going to mean the most to you. Now, how much do you need for that? Just $2,000. Now, listen, I don't know where you fit on this little graph. Okay, you're trying to figure that out as we go through this, and it'll become self-evident where you fit. Okay, but I know you got 20 bucks, so everybody's going to be able to do this, but there's no number on here that should intimidate you, because in this market, you don't need a lot of money to make a lot of money. Okay, that's going to be the key to this whole thing. And now what? Now you know the investment. Okay, so now what? Now you got to know what the return is. Okay, and that's where the pips come in. All right, let's talk about that for a second. When you're trading micro lots, write this down. Each of the pips is going to be worth 10 cents. All right, you got a 10 cents, right, profit for each pip you collect when you trade micro lots. So let's just go back just for a second to that euro trade that we did as our example. What do we make on that? 90 pips, right? Well, 90 pips times 10 cents would be a $9 return on a $20 investment. Okay, so what do we got there? We got 9 out of 20, 45%. That's a nice percentage. Okay, it's not a lot of money. It's $9. I realize that. What do you do with $9? You go get a Starbucks. Okay, but it's that 45% that I want you to focus on for a minute, because if you've got a formula, okay, where you can make 45% repeatedly, okay, what do you and I both know? Well, you're not going to be trading small for very long, right? Number one, your account's going to grow. But number two, if you're making 45% consistently, you're going to want to start trading that in size. And that's why you're going to step up to trading mini lots. And when you trade those, all right, that's where things get a little more interesting, because now the pips are worth $1 a piece. Okay, pips are worth $1. Now, make no mistake, okay, the trade itself is going to be exactly the same. All right, that trade we did on the euro, where we bought low, sold high, we made 90 pips. The mechanics of that are going to be identical. All right, it's going to be the same trade. It's going to be the same 90 pips, because you're always going to trade for the pips. But because you started with a little bit more, all right, in this case, $200 on a mini lot, now you get to take out a little bit more. Okay, 90 pips times $1, right? That's $90. All right, now we're getting somewhere. But the reason I told you to circle this last one on your paper is because when you're trading standard lots, gang, each of those pips is worth $10. Okay, and right there, all right, I know you already did the math, right? 90 pips times 10, that'd be $900. That's right, on a $2,000 investment. There's only so many places you can even talk like that, but this is one of them. Okay, and I don't care who you are, you're making $900. Okay, you do that 4 times a week, you're making $3,500 a week. That's serious money, period, end of statement. I don't care who you are. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, I know you're thinking 2 things. Number one, well, how often does that really happen, Joe? right? 90 pips, $900. Any idiot can get on a webinar and start talking about making $900 a day. But you got to know that that's real. You got to know, right, that that happens. How often? It happens in every currency every day. I'll show it to you. Okay, it happens in every currency every day, and you don't have to get all of them, right? You don't even have to get one of them to make serious money. Even if you get a half of one of them, 45 pips, it'd still be $450. Okay, 5 days a week, you're making $2,000 a week. That's still serious money. Okay, the opportunity's there. I'll show it to you. We'll go live. What's your other question? Obviously, what's the downside? Again, the profit, it all sounds great, right? We all see the big number, and it's a good reason to get excited, right? You want to know you're not wasting your time and that there is an upside, but you got to know, how's the downside protected? Well, I'm going to show you that too, because I have to, all right? I can't throw your money against the wall here and hope it sticks. That's a waste of everybody's time. Okay, I got to show you how your downside's protected. That's built into the formula. And now there's no reason not to go forward, because now you understand the fundamentals of it. So now I really get to show you the formula, and I get to show you target trading. Wait till you see it. It's awesome. But listen, I'm going to move quickly. Number one, I'm trying to make up for some time that we lost at the beginning. All right. But number two, right, I got a lot to show you, and I got to give you enough information so you can make a good decision on this, right? Are you even going to bother with it? I got to show you everything so you can decide that. So let's go forward. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show this to you using this piece of software called Ultimate Charting Software. And I got to know right now, can you see that I've just changed screens? All right. If you can see that I've changed screens, just type the word yes in the chat box so that I can go forward with this. Okay, because I like I'm saying, I know I'm going to move quickly, all right, but I'll give you a way that you can recap and review this. Reed is recording the session, so you'll be able to recap, show your spouse everything I'm showing you, all right, whatever it is you want to do, all right, but if you let me go forward with this, I can show you this whole thing, and it is awesome. Can you see the screen? If you can, just type yes in the chat box. Yes, yes, yes. All right, let's go. All right, I've got to move fast, all right, and if you got some questions, don't be afraid to type them in. All right, and I'll address those as we go forward. If I don't get to it immediately, just understand that I will get to it eventually. Okay, I've done this presentation a lot of times, and I know what you need to see. Show me something that works, that makes sense, that I can make some freaking money with. Well, I'm going to show you using Ultimate Charting Software. This is our baby. All right, this is our proprietary piece. Okay, this is a program that all of our 30,000 students around the world, they've already got it. All right, some of you, you've been here before, you've already got it. All right, some of you, you're in your 60-day trial period, so you're coming in for another walkthrough with me. That's fine. I'll give you a couple of trades like I did last time. All right, and I don't mind giving them to you, because that's where the rubber meets the road. You got something that works, show me something I can trade today. I will do that. Okay, if you don't already have this, don't worry about it. You pay attention here very carefully, okay, because I'm going to show you what all the buttons do. That way, when we're done and you get this on your desk today, you can hit the ground running. Okay, now I know everybody's got a piece of software. Joe, I see red light, green light stuff all the time. What makes yours so special? What makes yours better than anything else? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, all right, how this is going to help you. Number one, no matter what currency you're looking at, all right, no matter what time frame you're looking at, you want to trade the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 1 day, the 1 month, all right, this program is going to help you. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because this program, gang, is going to answer, all right, the 3 main questions you have to answer every time you do a trade. All right, what are those 3 questions you've got to answer? Write these down. Number one, you got to know which way the market is going. Which way is the market going, right? If you know that, that's a big advantage, right? Market's going up, we know how to trade it. Market's going down, we know how to trade it. This will tell you which way the market is going, but it doesn't stop there, okay? Not only will it tell you which way you're going, it'll also tell you where you're going to get in. It'll also tell you where and why you're going to get out, all right? Now, what makes it work so well? I'm going to explain, all right? What makes this program work so well is the way the Forex market works. Remember, I told you, we talked about this. This is a different kind of market, okay? What makes it different than any other market is this, okay, is that the Forex repeats itself, okay? Write that down. This is a big, big characteristic. The Forex, okay, it does the same thing, okay, over and over and over again, all right? This market develops patterns. Now, we're going to be able to read these patterns on the chart using the candlesticks. Now, I'm not going to go into a big candlestick dissertation here because I don't have to. All right, we're going to use the candlesticks to our advantage, but it's actually pretty simple. All right, anytime we see the white candles, what do we have to know? We got to know that that's a market that's going up. Anytime we see the blue candles, we got to know that's a market that's going down. All right, but what do we notice when we look at the chart? The market never goes straight up or straight down. All right, just looking at the candles, you can see it. The market moves in waves, okay? The market moves in patterns. Well, I want to take a look at a couple of patterns with you right now, all right? I'm going to call them A, B, C, D. You got to write that down because the Forex always moves in A, B, C, D patterns, and it does this over and over and over. And if we can find the patterns, watch this, we can make money over and over and over. Okay, I'm going to start over here on the left side of the screen. We're going to start at this low price. That's the beginning of the pattern. I'm going to call that letter A. Okay, what happens? The market rallies nice and strong, right, to a high price. I'm going to call that letter B. Just follow me on this. Okay, what happens when we get to B? The market stops going up, pulls back down. Okay, pulls back down to a low price. That's letter C. Okay, before what? We get a nice strong rally all the way up here to a high price. That's letter D. That's the end of the pattern. That's a complete A, B, C, D pattern. Okay, there it is. Well, what happens next? Well, once that pattern ends, immediately we start another one. Follow me, I'm almost there. Okay, we start another pattern right in the same place. Okay, that's going to be our new letter A, the beginning of the next pattern. And what happens? Well, the market fades down to a low price. That's letter B. Then what? It rallies to a high price. That's letter C. Then what happens? Well, the market just about falls apart, right? All the way down here to the next low price. That's the end of the next pattern. That's letter D. Okay, and then we do it all over again. So we got A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, and this continues to repeat itself. Okay, now most people, right, come to the webinar and they say, Joe, you know what? Those patterns are pretty much random. All right, we can do all the candlestick chart reading that we want. All right, but at the end of the day, a chart is a random walk. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Not in the Forex market, it's not. All right, not only are these not random, okay, what I'm going to show you right now is that these patterns are very natural. Okay, they're very measurable. But here's my favorite word. Okay, these are predictable. Okay, now that's a word that gets everybody's attention. Predictable, right? What do you mean? Predictable. You're going to tell me that you've got some fancy tool that's built into the program that can tell us where we're going next. It can predict the market. It's like a crystal ball. Because Joe, if you've got that, sign me up, right? You've been going to webinars for 10 years, waiting for the crystal ball to appear. And now I'm telling you I got one. You better be ready to latch onto that. And that's actually a good conversation. If I've got something that'll show you that this market is predictable, that's obviously going to help you. Okay, and this is the conversation I had with the chief and with Josh when I first got here, right? They said, right, this tool that's built in here will tell you which way the market's going next. I said, well, that'll help me. They said, well, wait a minute. What if it could also tell you how far you were going to go? Do you think you could make some money with that? I said, yeah, if you got something that'll tell me which way and how far, right? Anybody could make money with that if it works, if it works, if it works. Okay, well, I've got to show you right now the same thing that I told them to show me that it works. Okay, they got down to the business of showing me this tool. I'm going to show you exactly what they showed me because it's built into the program. All right, it'll show you that these patterns are natural, right? They're measurable, but they're predictable. All right, now what tool is going to help us do that? Well, it's called the Fibonacci tool. All right, a lot of you are like, yep, I knew he was going to do that, right? Fibonacci, why? Because you know that this has merit. Okay, Fibonacci tool that's built into the program is based on something called the Fibonacci sequence. Now, those of you that are familiar with this, right, you're ready to see it. Those of you that are like, I've heard of this, but I'm not really sure what it is, let me get you up to speed because what I'm about to show you is probably the most important thing you will ever learn about trading any market. Okay, the Fibonacci tool, the Fibonacci sequence, you got to write that down. I'm going to tell you what it is. All right, give you a little background just very quickly. And I know I'm pushing time, Renee, but let me get them through this because it's that important. Okay, this will be the foundation for everything you do as a trader for the rest of your life. All right, it's based on, right, this guy here, Fibonacci, Italian mathematician, very famous. All right, because why? Because way back in the 13th century, he came up with a sequence of numbers, right, called the Fibonacci sequence that can be used, you ready for this, to measure everything, okay, in nature. In fact, if you Google this when we're done, some of you probably will. If you Google Fibonacci, right, you're going to find that they call his sequence of numbers nature's numbering system, okay, because what Fibonacci figured out was that everything, okay, in nature follows a natural and keyword predictable pattern, okay? And if you put his sequence of numbers on it, you can measure all of it, all right? What do I mean? Well, look, Here, something from nature. It's a fish, okay? Let's zoom in on the fish. You see how the fish is made up of scales? Okay, if I said to you right now, okay, how many scales are on the fish? You'd want to give me an answer, so you try to count them all one at a time, but you don't have to do that. You know why? Because look closer, all right? Look at how those scales, all right, that's not random. Look at how they're in rows, they're in columns. That's a natural pattern. And if you put the Fibonacci sequence right on that fish, do you know what it'll do? It'll tell you exactly how many scales are on the fish, right down to the last scale. No kidding? No kidding. Because this works. Okay, it works on everything. Look, it'll work on a flower. Okay, you've got a flower here that's made up of petals. How many? Well, that's not a random number either. Okay, if you put the Fibonacci sequence on this flower, it will tell you exactly how many petals are on it, because that's a natural and predictable pattern. All right, and when I say it works on everything, look, it works on everything. It works on architecture. That's not just a flight of stairs. Take a closer look. That is a Fibonacci sequence. Can you see that in there? And when I mean it works on everything, it even works on you. Okay, you remember this diagram from science class, right? That's the Fibonacci diagram of the human body. All right, we use it to measure our symmetry, okay? Because we are natural and predictable patterns. Do you realize that if you right now, you told me how long your arms are, do you know that without even looking at you, I can tell you exactly how long your legs are? Because that is a Fibonacci sequence. Your arms, your legs, the shape of your ear. It all follows a natural and predictable pattern, and it's totally fascinating. But most of you are saying, yeah, okay, it's fascinating. What's it got to do with the Forex? Turns out it's got everything to do with the Forex. Because why? Because the chief and Josh and the people around here said, wait a second, the Forex market obviously follows patterns. What if they're natural and predictable? In other words, what if we put this Fibonacci thing into this market and it works? We could make a ton of money with that. That was their thought process. Okay, well, that's what they did. Turns out it does work. All right, and all you're going to have to do to make it work. These people made millions of dollars off of this, and they've taught people for 23 years how to do the same thing. Okay, the only thing you're going to need to do it yourself is be able to get a chart up like this on your screen and do what I did. Find the low prices and the high prices. If you can do that, all right, if you can find the low prices and the high prices, and they're easy to spot, all you got to do is find the U-turns. Write this down, okay? Write this down. You got to find the U-turns on the chart. This will help you, all right? If you see the candles make the shape of the letter U, do you see this? Look at the bottom of that. That's the low price, okay? The bottom of the U-turn, right? If you see the candles make an upside down letter U, like this, see that? The top of that, that's the high price. So if you can find the U-turns, you can find the low prices and the high prices. That means what? You can measure the pattern. How are you going to do it? Watch this. You got low price A, high price B, right? What you're going to do to measure the pattern is this. You're going to come up here. Pay close attention. This is what the buttons do. Come on. You're very close, all right? I just want you to make sure that you know what you're doing. Okay, you're going to come up here to this square, this menu that says Fibonacci Tools. I want you to click on it, and I want you to click on the first thing you see, the MTI, that's us, Fibonacci tool. All right, that's our proprietary piece. Okay, you're going to click on it. Watch what happens to your cursor. It turns into a pen. You're going to take your pen, and you're going to draw a line very simply from A to B. Okay, you drew a line from A to B. Here, let me clean this up a little bit so you can really see it, because what just appeared on your screen is what? That's the Fibonacci sequence. This is the Fibonacci tool in action. Okay, now what do you see here? Well, it looks like kind of a step ladder, right? A lot of numbers associated with it. All of those numbers represent the Fibonacci sequence. And what's happening is this. When you put it on here, when you draw that line from A to B, it measures the first part of the pattern. But what happens when we get to B? When we get to B, right, the market stops going up and it pulls back down. It starts the next leg of the pattern. The market pulls back down until what? Until it gets to a low price, and then it makes another one of those U-turns. Well, what you got to do at that point, gang, is you got to give that low price a label, right? You had low price A, you had high price B. Now you just found low price C. And what I want you to be able to do is this. You've got to notice where letter C is. You've got to notice that when the market pulls back down to a low price, how it lines up with one of these Fibonacci numbers. Do you see that? How it lines up with this red one right here? That's going to be significant. Why? Write this down. Because some people call these Fibonacci numbers, write this down, energy levels. Okay, I call them something a little bit easier to remember. I call them trampolines because of the way they act on the price of the currency. Now, what do I mean? Watch this. Watch. All right. Why do I call them trampolines? Because look at what's happened here. The market has gone from A to B, then what? Right? That rally stopped and it pulled back down. The market pulled back down to a low price. Then it bumped into one of these Fibonacci numbers, one of these energy levels, right? One of these trampolines. Now, what happens to you when you jump on a trampoline? You go bouncing off, right? In the other direction. Look what happens to the price of the currency. It hits the trampoline, boom. It goes bouncing off in the other direction. Why? Because this market has very natural and predictable energy, right? Bouncing to the upside, just like a trampoline. What am I trying to say? Can I keep it easy here? All I'm trying to say is when you see that, gang, the market's going up. And if that's all you knew, how to use this tool to figure just that out, it would be worth its weight in gold. But here's the thing. This tool isn't just going to tell you which way you are going. It will even tell you how far you're going to go. You want to know how? I'll show you. It couldn't be any easier. All right. And then you'll know how to use the tool. The key to understanding how far you're going to go is to match the colors on the tool. All right. You've got to match the color to know which way you're going. You got to match the color of the trampoline down here. All right. Which one are you bouncing off of? Okay. Are you bouncing off a red one, right? A blue one or a green one? You've got to be able to match the color of the trampoline you're bouncing off of down here with the same color up here. That will tell you, right, how far you're going to go. It will tell you where the end of the sequence is. Let me just show this to you. This will make sense. All right. What's happened? The market has pulled back down to a low price C, which bumped into what? This red Fibonacci number, this red trampoline. And now the market's going up. What did I tell you? To figure out how far it's going, you got to match the color. Yes, the market's going up, but it's not going to stop until it gets to what? The same color way up here. You bounce off a red trampoline. What I'm telling you is the market's going to go up till it gets to this red line, this red price. Okay, when's it going to get there? Sometime in the future, right? As time goes by, the market will continue to progress to the end of the sequence. And look at what happens. Amazing. The market goes right to it. The market goes right to the end of the sequence because this, gang, was a natural sequence. It is a predictable sequence. It is a Fibonacci sequence. Okay. And once you see that, if you're like me, if that's the first time you saw it, you know what? I was on the edge of my seat. I saw that and I said, hold on a minute. A, B, C, D, red to red. That looks like it works. Do it again. Do it again. You got to do it again. Because why? Because anybody can show you something that works once. Anybody can do that. You want to know that it works, but it's got to do what? It's got to work. You already wrote it down over and over and over again. And if it does, okay, if it does, then you can take advantage of that. Well, watch, I got to show you that it works over and over. And it's not going to be hard to do because I got another pattern right here. All right, this one's over. Okay, this pattern right here is over. Goodbye, A, B, C, D. All right, but now what? Now we're going to start another pattern right there. Same place. High price is A. What happens? The market pulls back down to a low price. That's B. Okay, well, what do I need to do? Well, I found high price A, low price B. You know what? Let me go get my Fibonacci tool just like I did before. Same series of steps. This is the formula. Okay, you come over here, you draw a line from A to B. Now what do you got? Now you got a new sequence. Okay, there it is. The old one's over. Goodbye. We'll even make it disappear. All right, but now we got a new sequence. Okay, and what's happened? When the market got to B, made another U-turn and rallied nice and strong all the way up here to this high price. That's letter C. All right, so now what? We found A, we found B. Here's high price C. What you've got to notice is where letter C is. Like I said, you've got to see which of these trampolines you're lining up with because that's going to tell you where the market's going next. All right, it was possible that we put this on here. Let's say letter C was way up here. If letter C was way up here before it made the U-turn, okay, we would notice that it bumped into the blue trampoline, which means what? The market would still go down, but only to this blue line. Okay, if we had noticed the market rallied, right, all the way up to here, right? Let's say letter C, just as an example, was way up here, right, before it made the U-turn. We would notice that the market lined up with the green line, which means it would still go down, but only to this green line. That's how it works, a very natural and predictable pattern. But what do we have here? We've got the market, look. We've got the market lining up with what? This high price, right, lines up with this red trampoline. So if this works and I match the color, not only should the market go down, and you can see that it's going down, you can see that it's bouncing, right? You can see that with your own eyes. It's bouncing off of this red trampoline headed this way, but it's not done until what? It's not done until, according to this, right, we get all the way down to here, to this red line. Now, when's that going to happen? Sometime in the future. The market's going to keep going until it completes the sequence. And look what happens. It goes right to it. Why? Because that is a natural and predictable pattern. It's A, B, C, D. It's a Fibonacci sequence, and this works. It works over and over and over. And somebody just typed, wow, right? Somebody just typed awesome, and it is. And now what's happening for you? The market's coming alive for you. Maybe for the first time you can see this, okay? But right now you want to know something doesn't mean anything. Why not? All it is right now is a wow. All it is right now is you gathering information, and you can see A, B, C, D, uptrend, downtrend. It looks like it's working consecutively. You're right, but it doesn't mean anything unless you can use it. Okay, you've got to know how to take what you just learned, right, and use it to make some money with it. Well, you can do that if this works, because you've got the opportunity staring you in the face. And when you pull up a chart, right, whenever you pull up a chart, you're going to be looking at the same thing. You're going to be looking at candles. Don't tell me you can't figure this out. You've already done it twice. But let's do it for real so you can see how to make money with it. All right. You got an end of a sequence here. That's A, B, C, D. It's over. Goodbye. It's done. But right there, right where the market makes a U-turn, that's the beginning of the next sequence. That's our new letter A. And what happens? Just like before, the market follows that pattern. It rallies to a high price, then makes a U-turn. That high price is letter B. Then what happens? The market pulls back down to a low price. Now what? Now it's making another U-turn. In other words, the market is bouncing. All right, the market's gone from A to B. Now it's come back down to C, and the market is bouncing. Now, what is it bouncing off of? You can see that it's bouncing. You can see that with your own eyes, okay? But what's it bouncing off of? Well, if you didn't have this tool, you'd have no clue. But because you do, you just go get it. You go get the tool, you draw the line from A to B, and you can see that the market is very clearly bouncing off of one of these Fibonacci numbers. It's bouncing off this red trampoline. You see that? Look how linear that is. Here, I'm gonna magnify this because this is really where the rubber meets the road. All right. You see how it's literally come down and bounced off of, right, this red trampoline right here. Look how linear that is. That's not a mistake. That's not an accident. You're literally taking advantage of, and you can actually see the mathematical properties of the universe at work here. I mean, it's awesome. Okay, now we don't have time to go into every last detail of that. What do you want to know? Is the darn thing going to bounce to that red line? Because Joe, if it does, I might just have to try this. Well, I got to show you that. Okay, I got to show you that not only is the market going up, but it's going to keep going up until it gets to that red line. But listen, it's all academic unless you can make money with it. Let's figure out if it's even going to be worth our time. Okay, it's obvious that if the market's going up and we start here, right, at 71.81 here, let me put this on the screen. All right, if our starting point is 71.81 and the market keeps going up until it gets to this red line, right, that's got to be a price. Well, you're right, that is a price. The tool even shows you the price, right? 74.02 is where we'd be going. Okay, if we start at 71.81 and we go to 74.02, what have we just identified? Before it happened, we've identified the profit opportunity, right? We've identified the profit opportunity. You can see it, all right? And if we do the math on this, let's take a look. 74.02 is where we're going. 71.81 is where we are. That's a difference of 221 pips. Now, I want you to write that down because 221 pips is a significant number, okay? If this works the way I'm saying, and this thing goes from C to D. Now, D is up here, but we haven't hit it yet. All right, so I'm going to call that future letter D. Future letter D. We're not there yet. But if we get there, we're going to make 221 pips. That's serious money. Okay, now I know you're not confident with this yet. If you've never done this before, then you're going to do this as a dry run. That's why you open up a practice account so you can see this happening in real time. Don't waste time. When you've got an example of something that can show you how to make 221 pips, you got to do more than just watch it. You got to have a little bit of investment of time in it. Okay, so get a practice account and click the buy button so you can at least see this working in real time. Keep score, if you will. Okay, but there's some of you here who are saying, well, wait, you already showed me that it worked twice. I could probably take a flyer on that. What can I trade with? Micro lot is $20. I'll do a $20 trade, Joe, to see if your thing works. Well, if it does, right? On a micro lot, 10 cents a pip, not only will you get back your 20 bucks, but you'll make $22. That wouldn't be bad. No, you're right. What if you're a little more adventurous? You do a mini lot, $1 a pip you'll make. Okay, so you get your $200 in the market, but if this works, you get that back plus $1 a pip. You make $221. Okay, what if you did this as a standard lot of currency? Joe, I got a couple of grand I can put into this. Are you telling me that if I put $2,000 into this and this works, I make $10 a pip? Yeah, now we're having a $2,200 conversation. All right, and that's the one that I wanted to have with you because that's why you come here. You didn't get inspired to come here to make nickels and dimes. Okay, they don't call it investor inspiration because you want to trade for a hobby. Listen, it's too much work to be a hobby. Okay, the opportunity is too big for you to just mess around with it to make $20 at a time. Okay, but I'm showing you this because this is where the rubber meets the road, gang. No matter how you do this, if what I'm going to show you works, you're going to make 110% on your money. And it's not going to take you a year. And it's not going to take you months. This is a day chart. If this works the way I'm telling you, all right, I'm going to show you how to make 110% in a couple of days. How do I do it? Couldn't be easier. I go forward in time and I can show it to you. Because look what happens. Look what happens. Watch. The market keeps bouncing off of what? The red trampoline. Now, it doesn't go straight up, but what happens? It maintains that positive energy, right? Higher lows, higher highs until what? On day 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th day, it goes right up and it kisses that line. You know why? Because that is the end of the Fibonacci sequence. You just found letter D. There it is. A, B, C, D, 220 pips took you 5 days. Okay, and now what? Now the market's about to change direction. What do you mean? We're about to go down? How do you know that? Look, I know that because we're about to start another sequence. Look what happened here. The market finished the sequence, changed direction. The market finished the sequence, changed direction. We just finished the sequence. Wouldn't it be nice to know before the market goes down, right? Wouldn't it be nice to know that so you could book your profit? Well, guess what? You're at the end of the sequence, gang. Book your profit. All right, you bought low, it's time to sell high. How do you do it? That couldn't be easier. You go to the trading button. You click the buy button when it's time to buy. All right. You decide, 10 cents, $1, $10 a pip. That part's not up to me. And I don't care where you start. You trade where you're comfortable. Don't worry about who's judging you. Don't worry about how you're doing with nickels and dimes, right? If you're in a learning phase, you're in a learning phase. You bloom where you're planted. Okay. If you're comfortable trading 20 bucks till you get it right, then that's what I want you to do. Okay, but the fact of the matter is you get to decide that. It's personal to you. Joe, I'm ready to trade minis. I'm ready to trade standard lots. Well, you decide right there, right? You click on the buy button. You buy, you make yourself 220 pips. Then guess what it's time to do? Then you come up over here and you click on the sell button. All right, there it is, right? Trading, there's the sell button. So don't tell me you can't do that mechanically. I can teach a 5th grader how to click the buttons, right? And once you see the ABCDs, now guess what? Now the thing has come alive for you. All right, now the thing has come alive for you. Of course, the market's about to go down. Whoa, 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 what just happened? Look, what just happened to the person that doesn't have this knowledge, doesn't have this tool, is they just got caught. Okay, they were making some money, they were all excited, and what happened? In a pretty short amount of time, they gave it all back and then some. Why? Because they didn't know about ABCD, but you do. And here's the thing. All that's coming next is another ABCD. And it's going to keep doing this over and over and over and over and over again. And I'll tell you what, for those of you who saw this for the first time, I just changed your life because this is how the market works, right? If you've been going to seminars, you've been going to webinars, you've been going to the bookstore, getting your Douglas and your Random Walk and all that other good stuff. Look, I did that too. Okay, but now what? Now instead of having to be some kind of a quant or economist, I know how it works and it's simple. It's right here in front of you. It's ABCD. And here's the beauty of this. Here's the beauty. Are you ready? This works in all the currencies. Okay. It works in all the time frames. Okay. This is some of my people are asking me, does it work on the 1 hour chart? Yes. Does it work on the 2 hour chart? Yes. Does it work on the listen, this is the energy of the universe, gang. It's all the currencies, it's all the time frames. It is absolutely measurable. You use the tool. Okay, it's repeatable. That's why the formula works. What's a formula? What is a formula? A formula is something that works over and over and over again. That's why they call it a formula, right? Well, This formula works because the way the market works over and over and over again. Do you understand that? We are now taking advantage of it. This is how money's made. It's measurable, it's repeatable, it's predictable. And if you didn't make money this week, maybe you're just doing it in the wrong market. But now you're ready because you have this. And I don't expect you to be an expert yet. I don't. But if you can at least see this, all right, and you want to go forward, you want to apply it a couple of times, right? Now it's time to go trade, but I got to know that you're ready. All right, so do this. If you can at least see the patterns, do me a favor in the chat box and type ABCD. And I'm separating the room right now with my serious people. All right, if you can at least see the patterns, type ABCD. And if you're bored, it's okay, because guess what? This isn't going to be for everybody. All right, but if you can see this now, you're so close. Type ABCD and I'll get you there. And if you want to see one more, type one more. All right, and I'll get you there too. I need to know that you're following, but I'm running low on time. I'm getting, they're all waving at me furiously. Look, I started late, so I'm going to go over. But I think we're at a position now where you're ready to do this, so it's not going to take me much longer. And if you just say, the hell with it, Joe, I don't need to see any more. Let me try your stuff. Well, then do this. All right, in the chat box, type a good phone number so that when we're done, right, either me or one of my traders here can reach out to you. All right, let's find out if this is something you want to do. We'll dot I's and cross T's together. We'll get you a download link. We'll get you a username and a password, and you can use the program for 60 days. Before you got to make any kind of a final decision on it, I want you to see that it works, and it is awesome. Okay, and if that's something you want to do, you don't have to wait for me. Get in line, all right? If I get the response that I'm used to getting, I'm going to have 40, 50 people to call minimum. So the earlier you kind of do that, the better off it's going to be. You'll get to save some time. All right, but look, I got to keep going forward. Yes, Charlie, I got your number. Diane, I got your number. Thomas, I've got your number. Ahmed, I've got yours. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You guys are going to get the first call, but I got to keep going. All right, because there's a little more that I got to show you. All right, this part is great, but now we got to apply it. We got to make sure that it works in all the currencies. We got to add just a couple of nuances so that I can get you talking the language of a Forex trader. If you're going to do something, right, you're going to be a pro at it. Let's get you talking like a pro. All right, so you're going to find a currency. Here's the Euro US, there's the Euro Yen. I did that one earlier. Here, I'm going to do this one here, the Euro Australian. All right, watch how this works. Watch, watch, watch. Couldn't be any easier. All right, you want to be speaking our language. When you get in there with Josh tonight at 7 o'clock, right, you're going to hear a couple of terms and phrases. Rather than having you play catch-up ball, let me tell you what you're going to be hearing so you're comfortable. You can hit the ground running. You're going to hear a lot. All right, the words support, resistance, breakout, sequence. Okay, sequence and repeat, because this is the formula. Write that down. Support, resistance, breakout, sequence, and repeat. Okay, Josh is always going to be pulling up charts. This is what you're going to do too. All right, he's always going to have the chart tell a story, because the chart does tell a story. It tells you which way the market's going, where to get in, where to get out. Remember that? All right, anytime we look at a chart, we try to bring it alive with trend lines. All right, like let's say I draw a trend line right here. That's a gorgeous trend line. What makes it such a great trend line? Well, look at what's happening when I draw that trend line, how reliable it is. All right, every time the market comes down to that trend line, look what happens. It bounces off of it and it goes higher. Right, bounces off, goes higher, bounces off, goes higher, bounces off, goes higher. Why? Because this trend line, right, is behaving to support the price of the currency. It's like a floor underneath it. It's holding it up. All right, when we have a trend line that's holding up the price, we call that support. And you're going to hear that, and I want you to know what the hell he's talking about. Okay, the other type of trend line, right, is instead of a floor, it's a ceiling. Okay, here, let me draw another trend line, and I'm gonna let the program actually draw it for me, so I draw it with absolute accuracy. All right, I got a tool here. If I'm not sure how to draw the trend line or which lines to connect, I'm gonna just use the smart tool, go find a high price, it'll draw the trend line for me. All right, now look at this one. Look, look, look. This one's just the opposite. Okay, this one over here was holding up the price, but look what's happening over here. Okay, this one is acting, right, almost like a ceiling. The market tries to go up, it bumps into this and it sells off. Tries to go up, bumps into this and it sells off. Tries to go up, bumps into this and it sells off. It keeps doing that. Why? Because this trend line is acting like a ceiling. It's keeping the price down. That's called resistance. So you got support, you got resistance. That's the first two parts of the formula. Look how quick we're moving, because you're ready for this. You're almost there. Okay, but you're going to hear that a lot. Some of you, that's basic, I know, but I want it to be that you're a part of our community so you understand the way that we talk. Okay, but the most important thing on the screen is right here. I'll show it to you, right? Third word in your formula, all right, is right here. You see how this trend line keeps going, but all of a sudden what happens? The market comes up to the trend line, and instead of doing like it did before, right, selling off, look what happens. It breaks through the trend line. That is an important event. In fact, that's the most important event to traders that you'll ever be looking for. When the market breaks through a trend line, that is called a breakout. All right, that's the next word in your formula. Write it down, because this, gang, is where money is made. This is where money is made. Highlight it, do whatever you have to do. When you see markets breaking through trend lines, all right, what's coming behind it, right, is a strong move. Now, you can watch it go by, or you can take advantage of it, but I'm going to tell you right now, when you pull up a chart, this is what you're looking for. You don't see it very often. Okay, a lot of times you're looking at charts, you don't see breakouts. You look at 30, 40, 50 charts. But when you see one, you got to spring into action. You got to take advantage of that move with what? With your sequence. What's that? That's your ABCD. You want to see it work? Watch how money's made. I'm going to show it to you right now, and I'm going to go very quickly. Okay, then I'll show you target trading, and then you get this on your desk. Watch how money is made. All right, you've got the tools to do it now. It's just going to be a matter of repetition. Okay, let's start right here at this low price. What do you got? Let's call it letter A. I can do that, Joe. I know you can. Then you do what? You rally to a high price. That's letter B. Then what happens? The market pulls back down to a low price. All right, I've got A, B, and C. Where is D? Well, I can find it. Come up here, get my Fibonacci tool, draw my line from A to B. Look what happens. The market pulls back down to a low price. There it is. And what happens? It bounces off of the red trampoline. Now, if this works, shouldn't it go from red to red? Look what happens. It goes right from red to red. Why? Because that's a natural pattern. That's not a mistake. That's not an accident. Different currency, different time frame completely. You're going to tell me that's an accident, that it went from A to B to C to D and then it changed direction? It's not. It's a natural pattern. Okay, and the more you see this, the more confident you will be. Then you can start trading it. Okay, but I want you to understand what you accomplished here. All right, no, you can't trade this. It's over. A, B, C, D, it's done. Yeah, how am I supposed to make money with that? Well, what you've just done is twofold. This was not a waste of time. You just proved that this works, and you've also proven what? That the market's going up. What's the last word in the formula? Support, resistance, breakout, sequence. The last word is my favorite. Repeat. Because now you can make money on this over and over. Watch how you're going to do it. All you're going to do is roll your energy forward. All right, we'll show you how to do this. The old C becomes the new A. That is your new low price. Okay, then what happens? The market rallies to this high price, right? That old D is your new B. It's a new sequence, and it is consecutive. The market does what? It pulls back down to a low price, A, B, C. Now what do we got to find? Where the hell is D? Well, we go up here, we get our tool out, and we can find D. Where is it? I'll show it to you. There's A, there's B, there's C. What are we doing? We're bouncing off the red trampoline. There it is. We're bouncing off. We're making higher lows. We're making higher highs. We got a gorgeous U-turn over here. The market's going up. You can see it with your own eyes, but guess what? It's not done going up until it gets to where? Until it gets to this red line. Way up here, 139.38. That's our go-to price. Okay, if this works. Where are you right now? Even if we don't get a great entry price, let's look at this one, 138.23. So the difference here is 115 pips. Okay, 115 pips. Now you're saying to yourself, well, if I trade one lot of currency, I'm $10 a pip, that's $1,150. That's a pretty good week's pay. Right, sitting at home, sipping coffee, doing ABCDs, that's a good rate of pay, right? That's more, right, than most people make in a week. And this isn't gonna take a week. If it works, how do you know? Because this is the 2-hour chart. My day traders will love this, the 2-hour chart, okay? The 2-hour chart. If this works, and at this point I think you want it to, that's what you're looking at making, $1,150. Show me that it works, Joe. And at this point, yeah, you want it to work. You've seen it work 2, 3, 4 times, but now you've got to trade for it. All right, and the fact is, if you buy low and sell high, guess what? All right, it goes to that, and with one lot you make $1,150. Now I don't want you to do it haphazardly. I want you to go ahead and make sure you put a floor underneath you. I want you to set a stop order to protect yourself. All right, a stop order is going to keep this thing from falling off a cliff. A stop order, right, puts in a protection So that what? So that you don't have all of your currency at risk. Yeah, I wondered when you were going to talk about that. Well, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more detail in a second. But the fact of the matter is, gang, we'll show you how to protect your downside, and stop orders in this market are automatic. Why? Because the market's always open. It trades through every price. It's purely liquid. Okay, there's no such thing as jumping over your stop in the currency market. It's too liquid for that. In the options market, you place a stop, it's just about meaningless, right? Not in the stock market, you place a stop, it's meaningless, right? If it jumps over your stop, what do you get? Market price the next day, it's garbage. But in this market, your stops mean something. So now you're truly protected. And what do? You go forward in time until what? You make higher lows and higher highs until the darn thing completes the sequence. Joe, this is amazing. I know. It's ABCD, and I'm not trying to convince you of anything. You're excited, I'm excited. I know what it is, okay? I've been able to impart this to you because you're here to make a decision on whether you want to try this or not, okay? But this didn't happen by mistake. This didn't happen by accident. And the beauty of it is, you know what? I know you didn't do that one either. You're like, Joe, you're right. I know you need to see it a couple more times. I can only keep showing it to you over and over and over so much. At some point, what did I tell you? You are in charge. You get to decide, but don't tell me you don't have $20. Don't tell me you don't have $20, and don't tell me you can't see what's on the screen right here. Don't tell me you can't roll your energy forward, low price A. Don't tell me you can't find the high price, right, way up here, right, end of the pattern, high price B, okay? And then don't tell me you can't spot the U-turn when it appears, all right? I can show this to a sixth grader. They can spot the U-turn. That's A, that's B, that's C. Okay, what do you have to do at this point? You got to get your fanny in the market. You got to draw your ABC. Okay, you got to figure that part out. Draw, all right, low price, high price. You've got to see that the market has pulled back down to a low price. Holy cow, Joe, that is linear. Yep, that's the 382, right? Market's going up, gang. What are you going to do? Market's going up. What are you going to do? You're going to buy it. Okay, you're going to set your stop. Now, I don't want you to set your stop any old place. Okay, if you're conservative and you want to trade and take advantage of this, yes, you're going to place your stop loss. Yes, you're going to build a floor underneath your trade. Yes, you're going to protect your downside. Okay, the fact of the matter is, though, in this market, you're going to place your stop in a very specific place. If you're conservative, like me, right, and I know you are. You know what a conservative trader is? It's somebody who doesn't want to risk a lot of money to make a lot of money, right? Show of hands. Yeah, that's me. Okay, well, if you're conservative, you're not going to place your stop just any old place. You're going to place it way up here at letter C. C for conservative. Is that easy enough to remember? Because why? Because you're going to only risk a little amount of money, all right, to make what? Well, if this works, you get to make the big circle. How many pips is that going to be? If this works, let me measure it. All right, this works, you're talking about making what? 241 pips. That's the best one we've seen so far. Okay, you make 241 pips, you make $2,400. All right, let's see if it works. And if it does, try it. I mean, what more can I say? All right, Joe, show me that it works. You're showing it to me consecutively. Well, we make higher lows and higher highs until what? Until we get to that nice high price. No surprise where it is. Lines right up with that red trampoline. Red to red. There it is. Red to red. How long did it take? 36 times 2, 72 hours. Took 2 days. 2 days to make 241 pips, okay? Which is what? $2,400 on a standard lot. You made more in 2 days than most people make in 2 weeks, okay? That's why people trade. They don't trade for nickels and dimes. You don't wanna? Guess what? Those days are over. Okay, we're going to get you to break through on this. We're going to understand how this works. We're going to use it to our advantage. You're going to see that it works over and over again. I can show it to you all day. All I'm going to be doing, gang, is looking at what? I'm going to be looking at candlesticks, right? You want to see how many times in a row this works? Instead of me drawing them all out, I got a tool that'll draw them all out for you. The Smart Fibonacci. If I go find a low price, it'll show me how many times in a row this works, right? Over and over and over and over, right? It'll keep showing me in both directions how often it works, over and over and over, right till I get to real time. All right. And if you want a trade that you can do right now, here, I did this before we even got on the air. Okay, I did this before we even got on the air. Now watch here, let me get rid of this and you'll see how I did it. All I had to do was say, okay, where is my current sequence? And if you're new, you're trying to figure that out. But instead of trying to figure it out, just come up here, use the smart tool, go find a low price. It'll draw them out for you. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. This is the one we're on right now. We're bouncing off this red trampoline. We're going up, gang. I wish I was on the air an hour ago. Because why? Because this has been moving, right, while I've been talking. This has been moving up, right? We're leaving money on the table here, right? I got on before this candle started. So we've left some money on the table, but we're not done till we get to 151.28. Now, where am I? 150.04. So what is that? That's going to be 124 pips, all right? 124 pips is what you're looking at. Okay, 124 pips, that's your profit opportunity. You want to do this one right now, go do it, because that's what it is. Do it in a practice account. Do it in a way that has meaning for you. Okay, I can't do it for you, but I've just shown you a good trade, and that's how it works. And you want to get this on your desk. There's no reason to wait. All right, you know the vocabulary, you know how to do it, you've seen it. Now it's just going to be a matter of repetition. You want to come trade it with us Mondays and Fridays? Great. In 60 days, I'm telling you, we can turn you into a powerhouse, because this works. It works repeatedly. It works over and over again. All right, a lot of you are saying, I'll try it. And I'm telling you, good, because I'm running out of time, and now the rubber's got to meet the road some point, right? You got to make a decision, okay? Some of you, though, I think are a little hung up on one thing. It's not the matter of repetition, all right? It's the matter of that 60 days. You want to be able to get in and be good at this quickly, right? You want to be able to make money as fast as possible. And we know that because why? Because that's why you trade, right? You don't come trading and you want to make money next December. You want to make money now. Well, there's a tool that's built in, and I promised I'd show it to you. I got to show it to you fast. They're going to give me just a little bit of time because we had that thing at the beginning, right, with the connection. So they're letting me run over, but I have to do this quick. Know this. Target trading is going to come with your software today, and it is awesome because it does the work for you. Okay? Instead of you having to read the ABCDs, the program is going to do that for you. Okay? It's going to do it right out of the box. This is going to come with the program. All right, you're gonna follow these simple steps. You're gonna open your charts at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Write it down. That's important. That's an important time. What's gonna happen is the program is gonna use all that Fibonacci stuff, and it's going to present to you a target, the highest probability to make money with the lowest risk. Okay, it's gonna present that target to you right at 5 o'clock. Okay, there's no guesswork. All you have to do at that point is trade to the target. If the target is above the market, you buy low and sell high. If the target is below the market, then you trade down to it. You do the opposite, okay? But that target, okay, is going to be the key to your success. And when I say success, listen, it's not going to take you long to learn, but it works. All right, it works to the point where when you press the button, I will show you that you have almost a 90% chance, not just to make a little money, but to make all of it, to have the market move all the way to your target almost every time. Well, you better show me that. I'm gonna, but I got to go fast because they got me on the clock, okay? And they're counting on me to do this quickly. But here's the thing. All right, it's built into your program. Here, I can show it to you. We're going to look at this just a little bit different. It's not much different. All right, here, I'm going to bring up this chart right here. All right, here's the Euro pairs. Here it is here. Let's just stick with the one we were looking at a minute ago, the Euro Australian. Okay, now what do I have? I've got a candlestick chart, but instead of the candles being white and blue, right, they're red and green. That'll help you a little bit. I'll show you how. Okay, but here is your rules of thumb. Okay, the market goes through its thing. Right? It does its thing on a minute by minute, hour by hour basis. But at 5 o'clock, right, at 5 o'clock p.m., what's going to happen is you're going to open up your charts and you're going to see right at 5 o'clock a target appear on your screen. There it is. I put it in a circle. So at 5 o'clock, you open your charts, and without doing anything, you just let a little time go by, right? At 5 o'clock, a target appears. And your job is going to be, it couldn't be any easier, trade to the target. Now, before you do, I want you to know the efficacy of this program. 72% of the time, all right, your target will be hit within one trading period. Really? That's how it works. All right, it's the highest probability, the lowest risk, okay? But even if your target doesn't get hit, let's say you get this on your desk, right? You want it to work 7 times out of 10. You want to be one of those 7. But what if it's one of those other 2 times out of 10 that it doesn't work right away? Well, you need to understand the efficacy of this program. 89%, almost 90% of the time, if you're willing to wait just a little while longer, all right, the target will be hit within 7 trading periods. Okay, now let me take that and show you how it works. right? It couldn't be much easier. There, we've got a target, right? It's 5 o'clock. Oh, holy cow, I got a target. What am I supposed to do? Trade down to it? Let's see if it's even worth your time. If you do nothing more without any more sophistication at all, but see the target and trade to it, you're looking at this thing being worth what? 84 pips. So on your trade, let's say you did a 1-lot trade, you had almost a 90% success opportunity here to make 84 pips. You're looking at making $840. Well, you better show me that that works. I can do it. All I got to do is go forward in time again. All right, look what happens. The market continues to press right forward, but in this particular case, taking advantage of the Fibonacci's, the sequence, the ABCDs, and presenting to you the best opportunity, look what happens. The market ends up hitting that target. There it is. That's called a hit, excuse me. All right, there's our hit. And what happened? You just made yourself $840, right? And how long did it take? Well, if you entered here with zero sophistication, okay, you had a little bite drawdown, but what happened? It came right to the target. That took 32 hours. So here it is, 32 hours, okay, and you've made $840. You still got the rest of the week. Some of you, I just helped you make more than you make in a week, okay, but it's only Monday at this point, and you've got a nice hit target. This is just one currency, but I'm going to keep showing this to you. All right, what do I do next? Well, instead of, right, being tied to your computer, go do something else. Go do something else, right? And wait for 5 o'clock on Sunday. Because on 5 o'clock Sunday, watch what happens. All right, here we go. Here we go. It's 5 o'clock Sunday. All right, what happens? You turn on your computer and you wait for the target. Once the target is on the screen, it's static. It never moves. Once the target is printed, it never moves. Okay, and it will be there so that you can sort of back test this. It will be there forever and ever, so you can see how often this works. And some of you are putting in your phone number, and I appreciate it. All right, but here. I'm just going to show you that it works a couple of more times so you can understand what's about to hit your desk. Okay, the fact of the matter is, if this works, and again, without any more sophistication than just trading down to the target, this is how new people are getting this right out of the box. They're just seeing the target and trading to it. In this particular case, it's another 82 pips. Okay, back to back that a couple of times. Look what happens. Market continues to move until it hits the target. How long did that one take? Well, this one, right, almost the exact same trade. That one took 20 hours. Target hit. Target hit, 84 pips, 82 pips. Now, is it 80 pips every time? We don't know that. All right, the program will go based on the dynamics of the market. But if you've got just a limited amount of time in your life and you say, you know what, Joe, I don't have all kinds of time to stare at the screen, but I can be there at 5 o'clock Sunday. Well, then when you're there, watch what happens. Boom, at 5 o'clock, the target appears. Okay, your job is to trade to the target. Now, I will add one little piece here, and I'm not going to add anything else because I don't want your sponge to be too full, okay? But the fact of the matter is, there is a way to do this just a little bit better, all right, by using the candles, all right? If you see that you are going to be trading up to a target, all right, the program's actually built almost like a stoplight to help you with direction. Rather than jumping right in on a target that you're going up to, I want you to wait for a green candle because that will actually be a better indicator of timing, okay? If you wait for a green candle, I'm not saying you even have to, all right? The program still has the same efficacy, but I think we all want to avoid drawdowns. Okay, in this particular case, what happens? The market expands just a little bit right before it makes its move. All right, if you jumped right into this thing, well, now you're underwater a little bit. I'm not going to tell you to panic, but what I rather you did was instead of jumping in, right, I want you to wait for a green candle because that will lower your risk even further. You wait for the green candle, and then what do? You wait for the target to get hit. Joe, it can't be that easy. That's not up to me to decide. What I know, gang, is that this has taken our company, right, and new people especially, to the next level when it comes to their trading because this works. Over and over and over. I can only show it to you so many times. In fact, I'm out of time. All right, you've got to get this on your desk. You've got to try it. And for those of you that say, well, I don't want to wait till Sunday. I mean, if I made $800, how much did you make on this one? If you waited for that first signal, that one was worth 171 pips. 100, listen to me, and 71 pips. But you made it by Tuesday. Okay, you still got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I know you want to trade. Well, what you're going to do in that case, instead of just looking at the weekly targets, you're going to come to the daily targets, because the efficacy of the program is the same. All right, you're going to come to the daily targets and you're going to trade those. Now, it's the same thing. You're going to open up your charts. You're going to look for the target and you're going to go target hunting. Sometimes they're bigger than others, right? That was a good looking target there, 75 pips. Sometimes they're kind of small, right? This one here might have been 10 pips. So you're going to go target hunting, looking for the best ones. But when you have a program that works 9 times out of 10, really, what do you care how big it is? You can trade size at that point, because we got a hit. All right, we got a hit, we got a hit, we got a hit, we got a hit, we got a hit. Look at all those hits. I just showed you 10 trades, 8 of them worked. That's the efficacy. But I know you. All right, you want to talk about the ones that didn't get hit, like that one. What happened there? If I did that trade, I lost. Well, wait, what did I tell you? You're going to get hit 72% of the time within, I got it, Renee, within one trading period. Okay, I told you that. But if you're willing to wait, even if your trade gets missed, within 7 trading periods, you got a almost 90% chance of it being hit. Look what happened. The market expanded, sure it did, but then it rallied. It hit this target, came up, and look what it did. It continued to rally until it reached this price, right? It took 1, 2, 3, 4 trading periods to get there, but that's not a missed target. When it got to this point, that's a hit target. Do you understand how it works? Not quite? Well, then let's get it on your desk so that you can. It is totally awesome. All right, I'll include everything today. We'll get you a username and password. You'll get the recording. There's a recording built into the program so you can review everything that I said. But I wanted to make this a nice full session because you need to have this. All right, you need to have those details, and now you got them. Now it's just a matter of doing it. Is there a cost? Of course, right? Normally this is $249 a month, but if you want to try this and test this, if you want to get on this team of ours today, right, and give this a shot, I'll give you the software for your first 2 months for free. So you can try it and test it and make sure that it works before you got to make any kind of final decision on it. But you got to put your phone number in the chat box right now in order to make that happen. All right. This is the performance. Take a screenshot of that. Okay. 72% within one trading period. We're making money this week. All right, 89% within 7 trading periods. You want to talk about a market that's forgiving, right? You're talking about, look, a market that almost 97% of the time, right? So long as you're trading targets, that target's going to get hit. And I got 12 spots, right, for people in this group to get in on this new class. Okay, I want you to be the person like this who says, are you kidding me? Right? This thing is amazing. And they send us their account statement. It's awesome. All right. I want you to be the person who says, I just hit another target for 200 pips, 2,000 pips. It is outstanding. All right. And I can say it, or you can come and check it. All right. Friday, we're going to do a class. We're going to spend a little more time together so you can make sure to get all of the strategies with a little bit more detail. Play with it today. Play with it tomorrow. Okay, but then Friday, I want you to be there at 10 in the morning so that we can go over the details of this and we'll trade it together throughout the day, and we'll get you ready for Sunday, because Sunday, when those weekly targets come out, that's when the big money's made. And we're so confident that this works. Look, we're going to give it to you. All right, we're going to give it to you risk-free for the next 60 days. This way, you don't have to sit here and take my word for it anymore. You try it, you test it, you make sure it works, right? You do it yourself, because you know why? At the end of the day, the only person you're going to trust is yourself anyway. All right. All that we're going to ask of you is that you give this an honest effort. And when you get this on your desk, I mean, look at the value of everything that you're going to be receiving. I mean, it is phenomenal, because it's not just software. All right. You get all those tools that are going to make you a successful trader. I've been doing this a long time, gang. You need strategies, they're there. You need some people to help you, they're there. You need some software that's cutting edge, it's there. And you add all this up and you put a warranty with it. I mean, what's the value of that? We say it's worth 10 grand, but you know, right? If this works even half as good as I'm telling you, right, it's probably worth 10 times that. And you're right. Okay, but that's what you're going to be getting today. It is powerful stuff. Now, how do you get it? Okay, there's more than one way. All right, there's a couple of ways you can get it. One of them is going to work for you. You just got to tell me which one it is. Okay, one of them's going. You want to go to my website? You can do that. You can do it right now. Okay, if you go to my website, it's markettraders.com. There's an interface there. All right, you want to get this? You can get it on your desk today, MasterCard, Visa, American Express. You decide how you want to do that. But if you go to my website, you'll see we bundled everything. Okay, you bundle, people save time and money. Easy, right? On the website, what do we say? You can get the whole program, not for 10,000, right? But for less than half of that. It's $39.95. You get it, you have it for the rest of your life. Okay, you can do that whenever you want. But right now I'm putting a line through it because at Investor Inspiration, what did I tell you? We're going to do it differently today. I got 12 seats to fill up. All right, 12 seats, new class, ready to start. You want to be a part of that. Here's what we decided. Let's make it accessible for everybody. What we decided to do today is this. We're going to take 40% off that online retail for the program, meaning you can get started today, all right, for a one-time, and this is lifetime investment of $2,295. All right, it's 40% off right away. All right, it's a $1,700 savings. And to get started, listen, it couldn't be any easier. All you got to do is simply type your phone number in the chat box. Okay, what I will do is I'm going to, either me or one of my team, one of my traders is going to reach out to you. All right, we're going to answer your questions. You've got a couple, we'll answer them. We're going to make sure this is a good fit. All right, we'll spend as much time with you as you need, but then at that point, gang, you are off to the races. All right, the only problem you're going to have is that you didn't have this thing 3 months ago, right? Making money with it the whole time. But look, by putting in your phone number, I want you to be aware. All right, and Tom, good, I got your number. Rita, I've got your number. Teresa, I've got your number. You are not locking yourself in. Okay, what you're going to do by putting in your phone number is you're going to give yourself what's called the first right of refusal. Okay, you put in your phone number, it means you want to have a conversation with us. Okay, you want to reserve one of those 12 spots. And what'll happen is, as soon as we're done, all right, we're going to talk. Okay, we're going to answer your questions and you're going to decide. All right, show me the warranty, show me how it all works. You're going to decide if you want that spot. If it makes sense, you're going to take it. Boom, you reserve the spot, it's yours because you put in your number. Okay, now if you decide, listen, if you decide after we have that conversation that this just isn't for you, yeah, Joe, it looks great, just not my cup of tea, it's okay. All right, all we'll do at that point, there's nothing lost, is we'll release that spot to the next person and we'll just keep going like that till we fill up all 12 of them. But you have the first crack at it by reserving the spot by putting in your phone number. Does that make sense? All right, and we're going to fill up those 12 spots, but that's all I've got. All right, once those are full, that's not something I can change. All right, we limit the size so that we can make sure you get that personal kind of attention. All right, that's once those are full, that's going to be the end of it. All right, now if you're thinking, well, I want to do this, right, but I don't know if I got enough room on my MasterCard. Don't worry about it. I got a monthly payment plan, right? If you can put a couple of $100 together, listen, I'll do better than get your foot in the door. I'll get the whole thing out to you. All right, I'll do better than get your foot in the door. I'll get the whole thing out to you so that you can start using it today, and then you just spread the rest of it out over time. We'll come up with something that fits your budget. All right, something that makes you comfortable, fits your budget, right? And the fact of the matter is you'll be able to pay it off as you go. So if you want this, but you're not sure how you're going to work it out payment-wise, just put your phone number in and let's at least reserve one of those spots for you. Now, Renee and Reed said, make sure they've got everything to be successful. All right, especially if they're new, they got to have enough time. Well, here's what I'm going to do today. All right, so you don't have to worry about extra costs and nonsense as you're going through this. I'm not going to give you the software for 2 months. I'll give it to you for 4 months. Okay, I'll give it to you for 4 months so that you don't have to worry about $249 a month. Okay, all the way to the end of the year. All right, the only thing I want you worried about is that thing that can change your life. That's the ABCDs. That's the formula. That's the target trading. Okay, now we'll make sure to be there with you. You're not going to go doing this alone. All right, we'll be there with you to hold your hand for that same 4 months. All right, but the best way that we found to get you out of the gate quickest is to just let you copy what it is that we do while you're learning this. So here's what else I'm going to add today. All right, it's called the Trade Copier. All right, it's only available for those of you that are here, but it's going to take all the guesswork out. Everybody says, can I just come trade with you? Can I just copy what you're doing? Well, here's what you'll do. All right, you're going to give us a link to your device, whether it's an iPhone or a Galaxy or whatever you got. Okay, and when we do a trade, immediately you'll be notified of that in real time. You'll do the same trade. I can copy you. That's the name of this. This is called the Trade Copier, and it works. It's crazy. Okay, but you're going to be able to use that your whole first month so that you can get out of the gate and get those results nice and strong. Okay, but you've got to be able to react to this now. You got to be able to tell me which way you want to do it. All right, if you're leaning towards doing it as a one-time payment, I'll tell you what. All right, I want you to type the letter A in the chat box. Okay, type the letter A if you're leaning towards doing it as a one-time payment. All right, I'm not saying if you type in the letter A that you're locked in. Okay, we're going to talk. But the fact is, what you're telling me is, look, Joe, if this makes sense to me, and I'm pretty close, all right, just answer a couple of my questions, but I'm in a position to take advantage of that. I could probably put it on my Visa card. Just show me a couple of details. All right, that means you're capable. All right, now if you're leaning towards doing this, but you got to do it on a payment plan, just put the letter B in so I can put you in touch with the right person. Okay, that's all I'm saying. If you're leaning towards doing it as a payment plan, we're still going to get your questions answered. All right, I just want to get you in touch with the person that knows how to do that the most efficiently so that we don't waste time. All right, but either way you do it, look, you got 60 days. Before you have to make any kind of a final decision on this, I'm going to give you not 15 or 30 days. I'm going to let you have the whole experience. Okay, you're going to come to the class, you're going to trade with us, right? You're going to get the trade copier. The fact of the matter is, you got 60 days before you have to make any kind of a final decision, but at that point, you're going to make a decision. Okay, it's going to be based on the results you got. I mean, if it works, you're going to keep it, but if it doesn't, or if it's not for you, all right, what our warranty says is we'll refund your money just for trying it. Okay, worst case scenario here is you get a full Forex experience. Okay, worst case, if you do this as an option B, you put a couple of $100 down and you decide it's not for you, well, you get to take the knowledge that you gained from us with you, and I'll still give you your couple of $100 back, right? Because that's how we do this. Nobody else puts their money where their mouth is the same way, but we do that because we're confident in this program. We know that it works. You just got to decide which way you want to do it. So in the chat box, I'm going to wrap it up right now. All right, option A or option B. I'm going to fill up those 12 very, very quickly. All right, and I know some of you want to guarantee a spot. Okay, and I know that some of you put your number in a little bit late because you were waiting for those last couple of details, but you're still serious about this. So here's what I'm going to do today. All right, so that you don't have to wonder, oh, if they call me, do they have a spot left or not? I'm not going to make you deal with that. I want you to write down this phone number, all right, and I want you to call it. By calling this phone number, okay, right here, you call this phone number, I'll guarantee you a spot. You call this phone number, right, I'm going to save you some time. But the fact of the matter is, you'll be saving me some time too. Time's money, I'll save you $500 if you call this number, okay? 5 of you. I'm gonna guarantee 5 of you that call that number a spot, so you don't have to wonder. And I'll save you $500 because you took the time to do it. I don't want to get any phone calls. Well, then write the number down. I'll save you $500 as well. Okay, but go ahead and do that. $500 to the first 5 of you, and now look at what we're looking at. I mean, you want to talk value? You save the $500. You're looking at all this for $17.95. You got the program, you got the class, you got 4 months of the charts, and 4 months to work with us, and a trade copier plus a guarantee. I mean, that's a hell of an offer. Okay, but it's up to you to take advantage of it. And before you go, all right, I'll give you 1 more minute. If money's a problem, all right, I don't want it to be. All right, I think I came up with a couple of great savings, and I think I came up with a way that if you need to finance it, right, you put a couple of $100 together, that's a way you can do it too. But if that still got you bothered, all right, I don't want there to be excuses. All right, I know this works. You can see it. I showed you 17 times. All right, I know it works, and I know you can do it. I can teach anybody to do this. You're almost there as it is. So if money is the only thing that's kind of tripping you up, well, here's what I want you to do. All right, I want you to ask yourself how serious you are about this, because if you are, I can help you. If you're serious, all right, don't take advantage of this last thing I'm going to show you unless you are, because you can't waste our time. All right, I didn't waste yours. I packed this hour and 20 minutes with a whole lot of information. All right, and I appreciate the guys that are waiting for me, right, and letting me make sure to give you that so you can make a good decision here. All right, but on this one, if you say, Joe, I'm serious, it's just a money issue for me right now. Well, if I can get this for you for free, I know that money is no longer an issue. So here's what I'll do. In the 20-30 seconds that we are now wrapping up, if you're one of the first 10 people that types free in the chat box, I'll get you in line for our scholarship program. I'll get you in line for our tuition reimbursement program. I'll get you in line for our referral program. All right, if money is holding you back, I got 3 different ways to overcome that. Okay, but you got to just let me know that you're serious about doing it. So with that, all right, it's A, it's B, it's free. That's for every one of you. One of those has to work. All right, and with what I gave you today, you are ready to rock. 5 o'clock's coming. It's not going to wait for you. I'm going to go make some money at 5 o'clock. Okay, 5 o'clock's coming Sunday. I'm going to go make some money on Sunday. You want to be there? Let's do it together. All right, option A, option B, or free. Josh has got his thing tonight at 7. You're going to be lined up for that. I already told you, username and password. There's a lot happening now. Okay, the market's moving, dollars moving, pounds moving, euros moving. Okay, don't get caught watching it go by. Let's go make some money with it. All right, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for letting me solve that issue at the very beginning. I had to go over a little bit on time, but I appreciate all of you guys giving me that opportunity. Those of you, right, that gave me your number, just stick by your phone, right? You see a 407, that's me or one of my team. All right, thanks guys. Hope you learned something. Hope you had some fun with it.